We seem to live in an age of identity theft where people, everything is generated off ideas. Okay, so if I even put this idea out there, somebody takes this idea, then they say that's their idea. It's basically soul stealing, identity theft, and then attempting to go back and erase somebody's identity. And I don't know what we're going to do about this problem. I'm probably one of few in the world that would have to worry about it like this. But it exists, and a bunch of people already know that it exists. They've already tried to do this to me about it. They've already tried to do this to other people. And basically, that's all they do is they profit off stealing people's information, and then putting it on their websites and then selling it for money, things like that. And now when we have this blockchain come out, it's going to be even worse. People are going to be able to steal people's identity and ideas from Facebook or wherever and put it into these blockchains and take credit for something that they didn't do. If you go and look at Eric Weinstein's video, Portal video, he talks a little bit about this whole concept of where, blockchain is basically saying anything you put out there is basically public. What is the point of even speaking then or having freedom if we're all just going to get ourselves stolen and erased? This is the most fucked up time we live in, and the only people that are celebrating are demons. If you look out there in the industry and other places, everybody's all fucking demoned out. People got shit-eating grins on their face. They got duper's delight. The psychologists don't even see any of that. It's crazy because I can see these things. But, they basically run around and steal people's ideas. It's piracy. Pirating or piracy, something like that. And it's a bunch of shit. The only real way to stop that is you have somebody that comes in and just rounds these people up and kills them, like another Holocaust or something. And these people don't think about that in their fucking party mode. They're just sitting around ringing their little tummy tree, their little stomach tree for their feels, and they sit back and they laugh and all that goofy shit. They take pictures of themselves laughing. They take pictures of themselves profaning themselves and other people, profaning art. Unless you want to live in absolute hell, then, because it doesn't seem like people are going to get responsible and take it unto themselves. They're going to need this fascist dictator or whatever their greatest fear is, which is then going to look like a hero. We're going to make somebody that's actually fucking crazy look like a hero, which is pretty nuts, but that's already what they're doing anyway. These people that are pirating and stealing and thefting, they're being hailed as heroes when they're not heroes. So I don't know what people plan on doing about that other than, face, it is what it is. So if that's what you want to do, then own up to the fact that you're going to need somebody like Joseph Stalin or worse to just come in and murder you. Okay? Just throw you in a fucking hole, say zip your fucking mouth, I don't care. Done with your culture, done with your world, done with your fucking machine, done with all your shit. Okay? And people can sit here, they can, put a strange face on when they're watching this, but it's all about what you're creating in the future. And we don't have a good record to begin with at starving psychopaths out of the future. We kind of just breed psychopathy. It's really crazy. I've been watching that go on for years. For the rise of Donald Trump, the people made that. Before Donald Trump came in office, they created the whole foundation needed for Donald Trump to come out. Same thing with the Boris guy, whatever the guy Boris name is in the UK. Okay, the people created that. They created him. People want to talk about manifesting the future and all this karma shit. Well, there it is. You manifested that into the future, and there's the karma. if you want to suppress the karma or unmanifest these things from the future, then you have to start responsibly within. Or you're just going to have somebody that walks out and is like, fuck you, die. You're a piece of shit, die. You don't deserve any right. You don't deserve any say in anything. And if there was collateral damage, you know that psycho would just be like, so what? It's collateral damage. But the people would still hail that person as a hero because of what they're getting rid of. Which is, like, we live in this fucking broken video game like Jumanji. I didn't see the movie Jumanji, but that's what we've been living in for a long time. Also, these people in Hollywood, I guess, can mock us and take our money. I guess that's their favorite thing to do. They all seem like psychopaths themselves. Whether they've been extorting us in other ways or whatnot, whatever. With their lyrics and their codes and their whatever the fuck they're doing. But this is what I'm saying, though. I stick to the point of it's identity theft. It's, soul stealing. That's basically what I call it. You're stealing people's souls. Then they go try and recreate it in the movies. Everyone's looking at the movies. And then, what if there really is a guy out there that's like the guy in the movies? The movie just saw this guy. Then they put him in the movie. Now everyone thinks it's only a movie. Then the guy doesn't exist out in the world. It's almost like a real fucked up kind of magic. It's a weapon. This movie screen is a weapon. Which I just... equate to the machine. It's a big giant weapon. Eventually it'll turn into a fucking robot. You won't have any breath left. You won't have anything left. You'll just be a fucking robot. You won't have any ecstasy. That's what people are doing all this for. Their ecstasy moment. Oh man, my ecstasy. Pouring champagne and fucking off like an idiot. That's what they're living for. And they think they're getting more of that, but they're actually losing those things. Because once you become a robot, you're not going to have any ecstasy. You're not going to have any orgasms. You're not going to be able to get outside of this box that is, where it makes it look like the robot is more capable than humans. Where the robot can think more and learn more. That's not true. It's an illusion. The robot's actually going to be able to do less. But once you get in there, you won't find out until you become a robot. You won't find out until you give yourself away that you lost yourself. It's kind of like a relationship where people don't know what they have until it's missing. That's kind of how it is. And, people think right now that it's the funnest, coolest thing out there. And I've even seen it at play myself, so I know how it works. And people think they're getting more expansion, but they're not. They're getting less and less. It looks like more, but when they touch it, it's like, ooh, you got way less. And it's basically, it ties into it as a whole, but it's identity theft of what people are doing with it. They do it backwards. They don't know how to use it for good. They don't know how to use it from within. They wait to use it out in the world. So they don't use it within to stop their demons from doing that out in the world. It's like jihad. People don't do the inner jihad, so they go and they do jihad out in the world. And they got to go kill somebody out in the world. And they got to go fight something out in the world, or they're angry out in the world because they can't defeat anger at the root inside themselves. So that's all I have to say for this one. But it's getting really disgusting out there. And basically, it's just a power thing. That's all it is. It's a power thing, and a couple people follow the guys in power, and that's cool. They get to eat the little cake drippings, but really it's disgusting. And if that's the kind of world you want to live in, then just be prepared for someone like Adolf Hitler to come around and be like, well, I don't value your rap game, so why don't you just fucking die? And they just mow you over with tanks. Whether it's Russia or somebody else. Drop a bunch of atom bombs on you there. Go fucking put that in your stage movie. because there's sick people out there. Especially when it comes to other sick people. That's when a psychopath really feels that they're entitled to do the full amount. Like, let's say someone like Vladimir Putin. Behind the surface of that, he might be like the craziest motherfucker you ever met. That if you ever crossed him in any way, you would get fucked up. Big time. Huge. It doesn't matter who you were. He just has a set standard that he lives by, and if you violate that, then you're going in the trash. There's not going to be any crying for mommies and daddies. There's not going to be any going back to your contract at Warner Brothers. He'll just rip you out of your fucking office, throw you down the steps, and put a couple bullets in your head. If anyone in the broad daylight sees it, he'd probably say, "You want to be the next motherfucker?" And, that's how you got to deal with these people that are doing what they're doing at a subtle level right now, and they don't realize that. What Donald Trump just did in office, ran through all that, he was basically an asshole. A bunch of assholes manifested this asshole. And they're like, wow, you're a fucking asshole. And he probably just sat back and said, you know what, you're the same thing. You just can't admit it. So, there has to be some kind of change in that direction, unless you just want this horrible future. If you want this horrible future, then be a man about it and live that on the surface. Don't live that all in the background and be like giggly stupid like a little fucking clown.